So the nice folks at Tourbox sent me this little guy around the end of last year. I've been too busy to put together my review, but now the time has finally arrived. I'm ready. So thank you Tourbox for sending me this unit for review and use. I'm sure you've seen other artists review this durable piece of tech on social media because I know that I have. My first reaction was, wow, this thing has buttons and dials, it looks really useful and easy to navigate without having to look at what button you're pressing. Then I thought, wait, this looks like it's engineered for right-handed artists. I'm a lefty. So I reached out and asked if they had made something for left-handed artists, and they said that a mirrored version does not exist, last I checked at least. So I'm not gonna lie, I went into this a little skeptical because I wouldn't be able to access everything this device had to offer, just my fingers couldn't hit everything where they needed to be. So with that being said, what do I think about this device? Being a southpaw artist who draws more hours than he sleeps. I've had this for almost a full year now, and I am very happy to report that not a single day goes by where my hand isn't fiddling with the Tourbox. The layout. So, as you can see, there are a selection of buttons and dials to work with. I won't go into too much detail because these can all be reprogrammed to suit your needs. With its own proprietary app, switching functions and creating profiles for the device is a breeze. I was able to make specific program setups for Clip Studio Paint, Toon Boom Harmony, and Photoshop. All of these can be preset to different functions. There are a few buttons on there that I cannot practically reach during use because they are just not built for right-handed users. This is probably my biggest complaint with the device as it isn't optimized for lefties. But at the same time, I can't really complain either. I didn't ever really feel I needed to use all the buttons on the device. I realized I used an average of about 40% of the inputs during work. The more file structure-based shortcut functions like save as I just reserved for my keyboard. I mean, I'm going to have to type in the file name anyway, so may as well just use it. The build. This thing is super durable and weighty. It sits flat and firmly on my desk. It will only slide around when you want it to, maybe. It's really grippy. I have never accidentally shifted it or gotten off alignment while using the device. The different shaped tactile buttons and dials made it incredibly easy for me to know exactly where things were without having to glance back and forth to see where my hand was. The buttons are clicky, the dial is satisfying to turn just the right amount of tension, and the body has an appealing matte finish. It is also a real big dust magnet, so be sure to clean your fingers and all that good stuff before you use. The application. This is where the device shines. When you spend a good moment to program your shortcut profile settings, you'll be able to achieve a very efficient level of productivity. Unlike other drawing assistance devices, you can create profiles per program. As soon as you click into the program window, it'll switch over to that control scheme. In application for Clip Studio Paint, my absolute favorite thing to do is to use the dial to change my brush size. You can see that I can paint and resize and paint and resize and paint, etc. without having to click the shortcut keys on my keyboard to go up in increments. You can set your brush sizing increment to however you like as well. I have it pretty sensitive on Clip Studio Paint, so you can just see me turn the dial and the brush size just goes up and down pretty fluidly. Using it in Toon Boom, I set the dial to be less sensitive, so it takes more intentional turns on the dial to get the brush size to go up and down. I didn't want to accidentally shift from my preset size 6 pixel pen and accidentally change it to something larger while I was doing cleanup. The rotary dial I set up to scrub frames of animation. That is just super awesome and incredibly satisfying to do while working. I also use the left and right buttons on the D-pad to go between unique images and keyframes, which is also super helpful for sequences where I have say 2 to 3 frame holds. So, is this something you should go and get for yourself? Good question. It depends really on how serious you are with your digital work and how much time you put into it. It no doubt helps optimize your workflow, like if you're using your free hand to access shortcuts and such. I've been working with one hand on the screen and the other on the keyboard for at least the past 15 years. I know a lot of artists who just work purely only on screen interfaces, like if you're a Procreate user on iPad, they don't even use their second hand. It's all kind of just one hand, one touch with your pen or your fingers. It's all really just preference. The price of the device is fair, but it's a bit steep. It's fairly priced for the quality, the function, and the build that you're getting, but the steep cost can be something that can turn people away. It's a big investment, and I feel it should be treated as such. They also offer an awesome Bluetooth wireless version as well, which costs a bit more if you like to keep your workspace from being cluttered with another wire. I personally like the device a lot, and I have put it to tremendous use. Even if only 75% of it is usable to me as a southpaw, I was still able to get some good work done. I'm disappointed that a device centered towards accessibility isn't very accessible for the left-handed artist though. It's something I'm used to just because more than likely everything that's out there in the world is going to be made for right-handed people. I couldn't tell you how many times I picked up a measuring cup only to be facing the side without the measurements because I picked it up with my left hand. Of course, I do expect a bit better. So really, the big question is this. If I were to purchase this with my own money, would I pay full price for something that I can only use 75% of? Again, thanks so much Tourbox for sending me this device for review. I've been loving using it. I hope this helps other folks who are looking for other devices to optimize their art workflow. Cheers.